All right, here we are. Okay, everyone, good morning, hello, and welcome to part 2 of the FranPause Growth Marketing webinar. Now, today, the subject is we're going to be going over more the tactics of how we can use the tools provided by FranPause to target your customers and um, uh, really get deep into the retention and grow your business from there. So today is going to be more around the tactical side, whereas the previous session was more high-level overview. So actually, to start, I think it will be a great idea to do a bit of a recap over the previous session. So let's recap some of the big ideas discussed on the previous webinar. So we learned that growth marketing is about increasing your customer retention through timely engagements. And we've also learned that engaged customers have higher purchase frequency and higher ticket value. So not only are they buying more often, but each time they're buying more. So we want to work with engaged customers, and today we're going to be focusing on one aspect in particular, engaged customers that purchase more frequently. And how do we get customers to purchase more frequently? Well, FranPause provides tools for that. That is our growth marketing engine, the ability to create behavior-driven automated marketing campaigns to incentivize your customers to return. But I'm also going to touch a little bit on the loyalty program, and that's because for our retail and restaurant customers, that's going to be the primary method in which you collect information about your customers. Our salon clients may have a couple more options available to them, such as walk-in kiosks or appointment booking. They may be able to capture this customer information. But for our retail and QSR groups, you'll definitely want to use the loyalty program as the entry point for customers to give you their information, and that's where the opt-in for marketing starts. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into today's agenda. But before we go too much farther, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, and that's that the experience is going to be a little bit different for each one of our clients. So depending on which brand or franchise you're working with, some settings may already be pre-configured for you. Some menus may look a little bit different. Some things may already be set up. So there's going to be some variation depending on your brand on the screens that are about to follow. But the idea is that I will give a general representation of FranPause marketing tools that should apply to everyone, and everyone will at least have an idea of what's capable of being done through FranPause and how these tools can benefit your business. All right. So as I said, enabling loyalty is a very important first step, in particular to our retail and restaurant customers. As I said, this is going to be the primary method in which you collect the customer information and contact info. So before we go further with the campaigns, I just want to make sure that I show you how loyalty program is activated. All right, so once you're in your back office, your my.franpause.com dashboard, you'll find loyalty program in the marketing section. It's just going to be right there under general. It's going to be as simple as flipping the switch on and off to enable loyalty program and making sure that you specify a reward amount for every dollar that is spent by the customer. Optionally, you can give a reward amount for first sign up. So as soon as they sign up, in this example, a customer would be receiving 75 cents of rewards, and just make sure that you set your minimum redeemable amount. And once you go down to the bottom and hit save, you have your loyalty program enabled. And what the effect of this will be is that now if you have customer facing displays in your store, you'll see a new interface on your customer facing display, which is the ability to enter a phone number to start earning rewards. So here on my PowerPoint slide, it's this interface you'll see here that's at the back of your register and facing the customer. Your customer will be able to go right up, enter in their phone number to sign up. And they don't have to be an existing customer. They can be a new customer at this point and enter in their phone number. Now, once the transaction is completed, they will actually get texted a link to a full sign-up form where they can fill out the rest of their information. Once they do that, once they provide their full name, their email address, if you wish, however you customize that form to be, and however contact information you need, then they will become a full customer in your system. They will have opted in for marketing, and you'll be able to start directing campaigns towards them. So again, this whole process will be especially important to our retail and restaurant customers. In the case of our salon clients, you may be able to capture customer information through the check-in kiosk or a couple other methods, which will also have them opt in for marketing. All right, the next step, this is yet again another prerequisite to getting the marketing set up overall, and that's purchasing the add-on. So marketing is not typically enabled by default in FranPos. It is an add-on to the main product that must be purchased. So I just want to make sure that all who attend this webinar are aware of how to get this add-on enabled. The add-on can be set up by visiting the settings page. Now, under this subsection called account, look for the page called My Plan and Billing. Now down here at the bottom of this list of add-ons, you're going to find automated marketing, and here you will be able to select your plan. So just choose the plan that will work best for your business. Once you have made a selection, what you would do is hit save, and that will enable automated marketing for this location. That will allow you to start sending texts and emails to your customers. And you won't be able to do so without enabling the add-on first. All right, the next section I'm going to go over is how we create and edit text and email campaigns. But there's actually 3 components to this, and I'm going to go over all 3 of them simultaneously. All 3 of these features, although they're separate in FranPos, they do work together to form one single experience viewed by your customers. So one is the growth marketing campaigns themselves. How do we set up, edit, and send campaigns? Second is discount and coupons. I list them here because that is where you will set up the coupons that you can bundle alongside your marketing campaigns. And the third is customer groups. It's accessed under the feature called lead source/groups in settings. What this allows you to do is you can put customers into named groups and then set up campaigns that target those groups specifically. So it gives you a huge amount of flexibility. However you want to group your customers, if you have VIP tiers or any such thing, you can put your customers into groups and have targets that campaign only, and have campaigns that target only those customers. So let's just quickly go over how these are set up. So I already have 3 tabs open with all of these pages, but I'll show you how they're accessed quickly. The growth marketing page, where campaigns are set up, obviously accessed from the marketing section. Discounts and deals, where we set up the coupons that we're going to bundle alongside the campaigns, also accessed from the marketing section. And lastly, lead source / groups. This is where we set up the customer groups. You will go to settings and then find the page lead source / groups. So let's very quickly go over these groups. For the most part, it's very simple. You can create any named group. And once you have a group created, you can go to the customer page and start sorting customers into these groups. Or if you're adding a customer from the register, you can sort them into groups from that interface as well. Groups have some additional advanced functionality, such as the ability to move customers from one group into another based on some behavioral triggers. Like for example, we can have a customer move from the test group into the novice group based on spending behavior and set that up to check every 7 days, every 30 days, every 365 days. So this will give you some flexibility, and you will see how this comes into play a little bit later once we go to the growth marketing. Next section I want to cover now is just the discounts and deals. So these are the exact same discounts page that you access when you want to set up coupons that you redeem at the register or automated discounts that you want applied automatically. The only difference here is that when you're setting up a discount for the purposes of marketing, there's going to be a specific toggle that you have to check. So for example, let's go into our birthday discount. This is a discount that I have designed specifically for use in a marketing campaign. And how do we know that? When you scroll all the way down to the bottom, we have this toggle here, use an automated marketing. This ensures that when we're setting up our marketing campaign that we're able to select this discount, and it also ensures that discounts are in a one-to-one relationship with campaigns. So if we use this discount with a birthday marketing campaign, we won't be able to use this discount for anything else. And that will help a lot for tracking, reporting, and overall consistency. All right, I do apologize for jumping around a little bit, but now we're going to go into the growth marketing page and see how all of this ties together. So on this page, you'll see some information about what phone number your SMS will be sent from, how many SMS you have remaining in your plan. You'll also see a list of all of your campaigns. They can be active or inactive. To create a new campaign, all you have to do is click on this plus button here to create a new campaign. In this first example I want to show you, I have a partially completed campaign right here called Monthly Half Price Friday. You can see that the campaign type is email. I just want to show you the experience of working through editing a campaign. And if you're creating a campaign from scratch, it's going to be very similar experience. So on this first page, what you do is you give your campaign a name and select the type. So as you can see here, the type can be email or text. Once you're all finished on this step, click on Next to move on to the next step. So the next step is where you're going to work on not only the content of the campaign, but also the criteria. And if you're bundling a specific offer with this campaign or a discount, this is where you would select that. So let's briefly go over the send criteria. We have quite a lot of these, and as I work through some additional examples, we'll explain what some of these do. But you can see that the criteria for this campaign is every X days. So I select this criteria, and then down at the bottom below the content line, I select or indicate what parameter X is going to be. So here I type in 30. What does this mean? It means that this campaign is going to send every 30 days. Here's the subject line for this email that's going out. And here is where you put in the content of the campaign. Some campaigns come with default content that's already set there by FranPos, but you are free to put in any content you wish here. and it is in fact very easy to do so. Let me show you what the typical experience is like to put in custom HTML. So let me go ahead to my file browser and copy some HTML. So let's say that you already have quite a lot of templates pre-configured and you just have them stored on your PC. That is actually the best case scenario because you can just simply copy the code, return back to the marketing page, select this little icon here to view HTML, simply select everything here, paste to replace, and then click update. So now we've actually replaced all of the content with a completely custom HTML that you may already have set up ahead of time. So there's really no limit to what you're capable of doing here. Just craft the template as beautifully as you can prior, and then simply paste all the HTML into this box, and there you'll have your campaign, completely custom, branded to you. We give you some additional options here. If you were to click on any of these variables, such as customer first name and customer last name, it will insert it into this template. And what this allows you to do is these are variables that will change depending on who this campaign is being sent to. So for example, if you put in customer first name and customer last name and then preface it with dear customer first name, then if it's sent to a Mike, then it'll say dear Mike. If it's sent to a John, it'll say dear John, so on and so forth. We have other variables such as the parameters that you indicate here. If you bundled a discount code, you can include the discount code or the barcode directly into the template itself. All right, once we're all done here, you would just click next. So on step 3 is where we indicate the how you want this delivered. So do you want this delivered to all customers, as in no restrictions on who this can be sent to? Or do you want it delivered only to a specific customer group? These are the same groups we talked about just a couple minutes ago on the lead source groups page. So if you have these set up ahead of time, that is the best. Once you're on this page, and let's say you do send to group, then you select which group. Other options here are sending to customers based on their registration date or when they were last updated. Then you select the start date and end date for the campaign. The campaign will not, even if the check criteria matches, the campaign will not send if it's not in between the start date and the end date. Some campaigns will even allow you to specify the exact time of day that this campaign is going to send out. So for example, this one is every X days, but what time? So here we can say 10 a.m. every 30 days. Finally, the last page will allow you to preview. And if you need to send a test copy, you can actually put in an email address here at the bottom and then click send. And that will send a completely test version just only to this email that you specified here. Once you're all finished, you hit save. All right, so that is how campaigns are set up. And like I said, creating a campaign from scratch is almost exactly the same experience. You just click the plus button here and you'll be adding everything, but it'll all be empty, so you'll have to fill out everything. But let's also go over text campaigns as well. In particular, I wanted to go over some of the other criteria options. So let's say, for example, this one is a very typical campaign that can be set up is the happy birthday. So we configured this one to be text instead. Everything's set up over here. Now, since we're working with a text message campaign instead of an email, the interface has changed just a little bit. Here, you still select the criteria like normal. Over in the offer section, let me go ahead and select the birthday discount. And here in the description is where you will put in the content of the text message. And here at the bottom, it will tell you approximately how many SMS is going to be consumed per recipient of this message. So why would sending one message consume 4 SMS? The reason for this is because the system actually has a limit of 160 characters per message. And if the content of your marketing surpasses that character limit, then it will send multiple messages that are concatenated and combined into one single message. So it's actually using multiple SMS to send one marketing to one person. So because of that, it's part of our advised practices to keep messages concise. If you're, the more you're able to reduce your word count, the better, because that will save you a lot in terms of how many SMS will be consumed. Now, once again, here at step 3, select whether this sends to all customers or just only a certain group of customers. This is another campaign that lets you specify the exact time of day in which it would send out. Final step is preview. And here you can enter in a phone number to test this. So for example, I could enter in my phone number, hit send, and I'll receive a test copy of this message. Just to emphasize some of the versatility here, we've also found that you can use this feature to collect reviews about your products and services. So how you could possibly do so is you could actually set up a campaign called Review Us, or however you want to name it. It can be text message. And this is a very simple one. You could say, dear customer, thank you for purchasing our service. Please give us a review. At this link, simply include a link for the customer to follow, and they could be right at the web page you wish them to be, giving you a review. So as you can see here, not every campaign is required to contain an offer or a discount. Those certainly help and are great for incentivizing people to come into your store. But if it's some other task you are wishing your customers to perform, you do not necessarily have to include an offer. And here for parameter Z is the SKU in which we're going to be checking for. So as you can see, the send criteria is when product or service is sold, which product or service. So here, just put in the item code of the product or service you want the criteria to check for. In this case, in my demo account, that will be an eyebrow threading service. And if you want to get a look of what that looks like, well, I have an example to show you. Just yesterday, I purchased an eyebrow threading service, and this was the text message I received. Dear Stephen, thanks for purchasing our eyebrow service. Please give us a review at Yelp. And I, as a consumer, will simply click on the link and start giving the review. And you can even see here that today I also received the birthday. Well, this was the test one I just sent a few moments ago, the test preview. It also went to my phone number. And I'm just going to run through one more example. This time we're going to set up a campaign from scratch. So we're going to do another email campaign this time. All right, and this will go along with the overall strategy of email that I'll explain a little more towards the end of this presentation, but emails are great for kind of long tail marketing and not so much for quick incentives because of the lower engagement and response rate to emails overall. They're great for just keeping customers dripped and engaged over a long period of time. So emails can be a little bit softer with their messaging compared to text messages where you are really pushing for a certain immediate action. So for the send criteria, this is a simple email that we want to send with the new season starting, with spring now here. We want to send a message to reflect that. So the send criteria is we're actually going to schedule this just for a specific date and time. No need to select an offer with this one because this is merely going to be advertising a certain sale that will be going on during the season, or if you just have additional products that you want to market for the spring season, you can do so with this as well. Now, in the description box, you can go ahead and erase whatever is there by default and start putting in your custom HTML code. So once again, I happen to have HTML that's pre-configured in this case. So all you need to do is just copy everything. And paste it right in here. And if you need to host images, by the way, we have that functionality as well. There's an insert image tool where you can upload images directly into FranPos. We will host those images. So go ahead and upload the images here. We'll give you a web address, which you can then plug into the template. All right, so this was more intended to show you how you can set up email campaigns for more general marketing purposes that are not targeting a specific time frame, but you just want to keep your customers engaged over time. We think that email is a great choice for that purpose. All right, so now that you are very well aware of how to set up email campaigns, let's talk about how we may track campaign performance. So, so far, we have everything in one report called the Marketing Campaign Report, but there are definitely more reports to come, and this is going to be a feature that's continuously updated and improved upon over time. So expect even more reporting goodies coming in the future. But for now, let's go ahead and check out what we can do with the marketing campaign report. So just go to the report section. Find the marketing campaign report under customers. All right, so you're going to have two different views to this. One is a detail view. It will list out all the campaigns here. So for example, let me go ahead and select all, and then we're going to generate. All right. We have a small sample size of data to work with at the moment, but when you run campaigns for a while, you're going to see many more deliveries than simply just one. But this should give you an idea of what the columns of this report look like. So you'll see each campaign listed here in their own row. So far, I've sent out this Review Us campaign, as well as some previous test campaigns of the past. You can view the amount of deliveries. So this is how many people did this campaign reach, whether it be email or text. In many cases, we'll also have the ability to track opens, especially in the case of email. As soon as they open up that email, we'll record it. So we'll let you know out of all of the deliveries, how many times were these emails opened. Open rate is percentage against the deliveries. Now let's talk a moment about visits. So visits refer to each time a recipient of that campaign has then went on to go visit the store. And how do we know when they visited the store? Well, it's when their name is rung up on the POS. That's how we'll know it's them. And we'll be able to infer that their visit may be related to any campaign that they recently received. So basically, between the campaign start date and the end date, whenever a campaign recipient comes and visits the store, we'll count it for you, and it'll show up here in this column. Now, redemptions are probably the most valuable piece of information, in particular if you bundle discounts alongside your campaigns. Each time that discount is redeemed, that counts as a campaign redemption. So it'll be very valuable for you to know the redemption rate of a campaign that you sent out, especially if that campaign contained a discount with it. That'll let you know the overall success of that campaign. And lastly, here at the very right side, I will let you know how many have unsubscribed as a result of that campaign. This report will also allow you to view specific recipients. So for example, if I expand this one, you'll see the recipient list here. So far, it's just me. And at the very right, you'll see if I unsubscribed or not. Now, you'll be able to get a summary version of all this information if you tab over to the summary view. As you can see, you can filter by specific criteria or just view all criteria. So you can see how many campaigns were sent, how many total deliveries, total visits, total redemptions, just the overall success of this location's marketing efforts. This report is going to be very helpful for our multi-location folks on the call. You'll be able to select multiple locations here and just view a list of all of your locations and compare the marketing results from each. All right, I wanted to give a quick mention to SMS compliance. It very much is a very real and important thing. But the short answer here is you need not worry. FranPos does follow the best practices laid out by the CTIA, which allows us to comply with the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. So in this case, the best practices we follow are automatic opt-in confirmations. So you can see an example here on the PowerPoint slide. Welcome to location, promo alerts, message data rates may apply, and it contains instructions, reply for help or reply to cancel. These are completely automatic. They will send to any first-time recipient, and this acts as a confirmation of that customer's opt-in. The ability to opt out is also completely built in. Nothing you need to enable there. It's already present. I can even show you right here. If I go to my text conversation and reply right now, stop, then I have now unsubscribed. And unsubscribed, it means it in this case. So once a customer is unsubscribed, they will not be able to receive any more messages from our text messaging system. So you are safe in that regard. On top of everything, we have multiple opportunities to display terms and conditions as well as your privacy policy. So one example for our retail and restaurant customers is if you go to the loyalty program page, there's also a field where you can enter in your privacy policy for what you do with your customers' data. And that will display on the loyalty sign-up page after the customer receives the link to it on their phone. Now, for our salon customers, you can display privacy policy and terms and conditions directly onto the walk-in kiosk. That's also a setting available. So just for that extra reassurance and compliance, we give you multiple places to paste this information. All right, couple more recommended practices as we start to wrap up. In general, we advise no more than 4 to 5 SMS per month per customer. That includes any campaigns that you just blast out to a wide audience, or that also includes automated campaigns. So as you set up some of the automation, just do your best to estimate approximately how many SMS per month that may be, and try to stay under 5 just to keep your customers comfortable with your communication. And with that being said, definitely get feedback from your customers whenever possible about your marketing. Find out if you're being a little overbearing. You're going to want to know that sooner rather than later, but do get feedback. And we covered this a little bit, but I'll go over it one more time. Text marketing, because of the significantly higher response time and conversion rate, text marketing is very effective for short-term incentives. So say you have a special situation going on, you're underbooked for the next day, and you want to get customers in the door now. Text message is a great way to do so. Email, it's a lower response rate, so you'll want to drip these to your customers over time. It's more long-term, and you'll see the benefits come over a longer period of time. So do treat email marketing appropriately. And what is next from here? Well, we covered how do we increase the frequency in which your customers visit the store via the growth marketing campaigns. The next step is to cover how do we increase average ticket value. And you can do so with very timely advertisements in your store itself, as well as the impulse buy feature. So the next webinar I'll be covering on April 3rd is going to focus more on the customer-facing display, what advertisements you can display there, and how to get your customers to impulsively buy items right from the display itself, which, if you can get 5% extra revenue from there, that is a win. All right, so that about wraps it up for what I'm to cover today. Thank you everyone so much for showing up, taking time out of your day to learn from me about this feature. And I'll be happy to briefly receive any questions. If I can't answer them in a couple minutes, I think it'll be better to have a separate conversation. But I think everyone on this webinar knows who I am. I'm Steve. I can be reached at sbets@franpos.com. So if you have any specific questions, it'll probably be best to contact me directly. I'll be able to answer in great detail or give you some follow-up training on everything to be covered today.